All right, we're going to call the meeting to order, and I need to do roll call. Or you need to do roll call.
Dolphin,
Here.
Via, Dutiel,
Here.
Scudder,
Here.
Hacker, here.
Yeah, it's gonna be awkward.
Okay. Are we good? Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that. Baba. There. Okay. We're good.
So the next on the item is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I would make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second?
I second it.
Thank you, Connie and Rebecca. Number 3 is approval of minutes, the September 5th, 2024 regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve the September 5th, 2024 minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second,
Thank you. Are there any objections? Are the minutes okay as approved? Hearing no objections, they are approved. And then it looks like we have public comments, but it doesn't look like there's any public here tonight. So we'll move on to action items. Recommending advisory board changes. And I think in your packet is the recommendations. Is there a motion to approve the recommended advisory board changes as presented?
I would move to
To approve?
approve them as written.
Thank you, Connie. And second?
I second it.
Thank you, Rebecca. Now, is there discussion from our director, Joel Todd?
Yep, I'm just going to highlight a few of the key things. You know, some of you guys know a couple years ago we made some changes, which I outlined in the memo. Some of them have worked, some of them haven't worked as well. You know, I think one of the main ones was going to a meeting every other month. That was designed to get more information out to you guys in a more timely manner. But it also really is hampered us in our ability to do other things or make special meetings. I know we've done site visits occasionally and work sessions that are not official meetings and where we can just roundtable on a particular topic. So it's made it hard when we have a meeting every other month versus quarterly. And so my proposal is that we go back to quarterly and that gives us the option to add. The other thing that accidentally happened when we changed it 2 years ago is the language that we used made it to where we were not allowed to cancel a meeting. Whether we had anything on the agenda or not, was just the way the wording happened. And so this just gives us a little bit more flexibility. So it would be quarterly meetings with the option to add. And historically, we've done, you know, a site visit or a roundtable or work session. I mean, if we wanted to dive into a particular topic. The other one, the seven board meetings. I think seven board meetings compared to 5 is great. The library and the airport members. The library and the airport also have 5, but they have a very specific focus on their particular facility, where Parks and Rec is a very varied, whatever word I'm looking for. So it's just nice to have a variety of inputs, and you know, we try to have some business owners, we have some you know, park users, some recreation focus, some coaches, or you know, having a diverse group. So I like 7. We weren't able to fill all 7 last year. We had a lot of interest, but with only 2 seats open to people that live outside the city limits, everybody that was interested in getting involved lived outside the city limits. And so we weren't able to bring them on board, or have the option to bring them onto the board. So the one proposal, or one of the ones we highlighted, is instead of having only 2 outside the city limits, opening up to 3, that would just give us more options. And really, you guys know, Parks and Rec, we serve 40,000 people in the Central Peninsula. You know, and if somebody lives in Clam Gulch, but, you know, works and plays in Soldotna and owns a business in Soldotna or coaches in Soldotna, like, we feel like that's a valuable resource to have representing the Parks Board. Any questions or thoughts, or want more information on anything in particular?
I think it's probably a good idea to have the 3 seats because especially with the new field house coming, there's going to be a lot more interaction with the outlying communities. So I would say, let's do that.
How are these positions sought after? How does the community know that, because there's a lot of folks out there, like you mentioned, that could really bring a lot to the table?
Yeah, so our clerk's office does a lot of outreach through the city website, through social media to fill both the airport, the library, and the parks boards and commissions. And then each individual, you know, department does a lot of outreach too. The way it's worked in the past is, you know, if you're super involved in any sort of Parks and Rec related things, I normally, or Andrew would have these conversations with different individuals and be like, hey, you're already helping build a dog park. Why don't you get on the board and help us with everything else? And so a lot of it just happens naturally, but then there is just a lot of just straight up outreach.
Okay.
How about like on the radio announcing there's a vacancy, or we only get the newspaper once a week now, but I've seen the ads for it there too.
Yeah, we've got a deal with Doggone News where we're able to add Soldotna specific, you know, related events or things. And so we'll do outreach that way.
Any further discussion about this or, oh, Jordan?
Yeah, that'll be the next step. Yep. This is just to judge, you know, what we think of the board, and then we'll move it on up the food chain. And
Any other discussion? Okay, well, so we've agreed that we would like to meet quarterly rather than 6 times a year and increase our out-of-city board members from 2 to 3. If there's no further discussion, call for the vote.
Okay, Dolphin,
Yes.
I hear Duteel,
Yes.
Scudder,
Yes.
Hawker,
Yes.
and Fadla.
There's no further discussion.
Penny, can you hear us? We're voting.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Oh, I had one quick question before we vote, but I guess I was being, that's okay. I'm in favor of this. I'll make a comment when you tally.
We're voting. Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we can hear you. Okay, we hear that you voted yes, and then we will let you make a comment later. Sorry, guys.
So this motion passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is the Parks and Recreation Director Report.
All right, I'm not going to go into the weeds in this, but we'll highlight a few things. Levitt Amp music series was successful again, obviously. Hopefully you guys all were able to join in on some of the dancing. We, in August and September, we ended up hosting a couple large events inside, which means we covered the ice again with our insulated flooring for the Keno River Classic and the Soup Supper. Those are both big community events that don't have a home besides our space because they have, 400 to 700 people attending those. We'll talk about Fieldhouse in a second. Fieldhouse. Brown Bears are back. That's exciting. They're actually playing tonight. So if you want to go over to the game afterwards, we can look at some of because we got the photos up there. We did get the parking lot paved. If you scroll down a little bit, we did have some issues with these moats. These aren't designed to be swimming ponds or paddleboard areas. They are designed, they will be filled with dirt and trees will be planted. There's 200 trees that are going to go into these landscaping areas. So that's the end goal. There will be some visibility so people don't drive into them. And then we also realized that the ground was not taking care of the rainwater like originally thought. And so they added culverts and redirected all of the areas into some sort of catch basin ponds, sort of on the edges of the parking lot. No, supposedly it'll be a 10-inch drop, which isn't that bad. So it will have some, sort of natural water. It'll be grass, we'll mow it, and then there'll be trees in there. So it won't be as deep and scary as it is right now. Yep.
Because it's a drainage area, is that why it has to maintain a drop? It can't be brought level and,
Yeah, because standard now is parking lot. When you're talking about stormwater runoff, you want to take care of that stormwater on your own property. And so that's what, having these sort of swells, landscape swells, is doing. Old school, you would just push it off into somebody else's yard and let them deal with it. We're trying to be good neighbors. But they're not done and things have changed since then. And then campgrounds are closed. Me and Michaela went to the Alaska Recreation and Parks Association conference in Wrangell a few weeks ago, last month. So this is an opportunity where all the parks professionals around the state get together. And, it's a typical conference with educational sessions and keynote speakers and, opportunities to network and learn. And there was boating safety instructor courses. There was lifeguard and becoming a lifeguard instructor courses. There was certified pool operating courses, just a variety of opportunities to get certified in some sort of, advancing your career or needing a certificate type thing. It was a great event. It's the second year that it was in Wrangell. The next 2 years it will be in Valdez. So we would kind of rotate around it's a little bit of an economic boost to some of these smaller communities in the shoulder seasons, which is nice. And then it also gives us an opportunity to go to other communities and see how they do recreation. And then I went to the national conference, which is the same idea, but across the whole state. I went to Atlanta a few weeks back, and I was there with 8,000 other Parks and Rec professionals from around the nation for a 4-day conference. And that was very overwhelming. A lot of really cool stuff out there, a lot of really cool technology things that people are doing and kind of making your operations a little bit more efficient. And yeah, but it was very good, very overwhelming, but cool ideas that we brought back. And I also met with a million different vendors of basketball hoops and volleyball nets and pickleball, this and everything you can think about for the field house. I went and got, I met with every single vendor that's selling the latest and greatest widget. So be ready for all the crazy stuff I accidentally bought. Maybe we can have a quick update on programming from Michaela and what we've been up to this fall.
We kicked off all of our fall programming pretty much starting in September. Some of that included a new intro to drawing class from a community member who's brand new to the community, but wanted to use his talents for painting and charcoal drawing to just kind of increase opportunity for people. So that kicked off in September. We've doubled our ping pong days. So there's drop-in ping pong at the Sports Center Monday and Wednesday nights. Gets about 5 to 10 people weekly, but it's fun. It's open to all ages. Doing our normal first sewing classes. We're doing another quilting class this fall to make holiday stockings. And overall, just kind of trying to bring back the community schools vibe with a little bit new energy. One thing I do want to brag on, it's not my program, it's our program at the ice rink. The adult synchronized class is brand new. It's something that we've never done before. And we have over 15 people. There's a picture up on the screen. Madeline has taken her figure skaters that have graduated out of Learn to Skate and are now grown-ups and still want to go and ice skate and figure skate together. And she's made a whole synchronized team out of it. And they meet before the sun comes up on Tuesday mornings, but it's been really cool to see that take off. And then our Learn to Skate group is back up and going. We're on to session 2 right now. Numbers are looking good so far. And I actually have a child in Learn to Skate, so I'm getting to see it sort of from the consumer standpoint, and it's really special. So kudos to Madeline on her programs as well.
All right, now we just have a couple field housey type things. Oh, beautiful flowers. I think our gardeners crushed it this year. Yeah, we had great weather, but we also had a really good team. And we were very excited about the effort. And every year we do potatoes over at the police station and donate it to the food bank. That was a picture of our bounty. We've been every day, all day, we talk about Fieldhouse every second of every minute of every day. It's very exciting and very overwhelming, but we've recently been talking about sound panels. These are the things that are going to go up on the ceiling and the wall. So this is a computer generated idea of what will probably happen. So this is the turquoise is the Kenai River blue that we kind of went with the handrails and the poles. So my cursor is on the lower level, and then this is the track level. And this is, kind of looking east and west. So these are the two long sides of the building. Each one of these little panels, these gray ones, and there's a little bit of color just to like do something spice it up just a little bit without getting too crazy. So there's a little bit of blue, a little bit of turquoise or Kenai River blue, and then a little bit of this yellow orange color just to kind of break it up. It's a huge building. Remember, a lot of it's going to be white. Most of the ceiling will be white. A lot of the beams holding up the whole structure will be kind of a darker grayish color. So I think we're gonna have a lot of gray, a lot of metal, and so this is a way to kind of bring a little bit. And then you remember that in the bathrooms or the locker rooms, we do have that two-toned orange and the two-tone blue. And I think Denise wanted the orange in her theme room, right? So I think that's what we did. And so this is just a way to bring some color. So this is the concept. And then it's this really cool textured panels that will look and feel kind of like a river or like water flowing. So pretty excited about that.
Is that green the true?
No, this is just this is just
Pretty dark.
yeah, this is just an image of what the pattern looks like. We did, we talked about finding space for murals and doing art, and we kind of had to drift away from that. I think there's still room and there's still possibilities, but at least for this first version of the field house, we wanted to get the panels up in the right spot. And because they're removable, we could, if we really some other day wanted to replace the colored panels with gray panels, just so, if your artwork wanted to be on a neutral backdrop, we could do that pretty easily. But that'll be in, the the 2.0 version. Mhm. Yes. Correct. There's like 9 million in the ceiling that I didn't show a picture of. They're just boring white ones. Yeah, but they will be, yep, yep. And this is, the bottom ones are at about a 7-foot height. So that way, if you're sitting in the bleachers, you're not touching them. You're not really messing with them with your hands. Whereas the ones on the top are a little bit lower. And somebody smarter than us did some science on how the noise is going to bounce in there. And they think this is the best strategy. Also, it kind of lines up with the metal girders. This little bar here is all throughout, every 4 feet, we have one of these horizontal girders, and then the panels will attach to them too. So. This is funded. There was a hot second when we pulled out a few things from the project. Sound attenuation was one of them, but when the bids came back favorable, these went back in. We knew we weren't going to be able to open without them, but this was something that we thought maybe we could add on later on our own, but it's Criterion's doing it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. We did see these poles right here are painted as of today or yesterday. So we got to see the live color painting or color of them. It looks like a Kenai River. It's starting to come along. Yep. So we're excited. The other thing that we've been working on, can you help me get that YouTube over? You can just take the whole thing over, right? Okay. I know. So we've gone around and around on the flooring options. This is not solidified, but it is the most likely the route that we're heading. Originally, we thought we were going to use plastic court material because it was multi-use. It was going to be kind of bomb-proof. After a lot of research and a lot of everything's, we've moved towards a wooden floor. This is the same wooden floor product that most NBA and NCAA teams use. It's still modular, so you can see it stacked up on these roller carts. So we'll still be able to go down to concrete for our home shows and sports and rec shows, but it'll have a full wood floor. So here's just a quick little video of these guys putting the flooring out, and you can see, the company that we're looking at, the safety is huge for them, and you can see a lot of the cushioning in here, which will protect all of our athletes, old and young, on jumping up and down on that, and then having a nice wood floor or top for it. Yep. Yeah, we're still doing turf. It'll be a similar size. It's still a 4x6 piece of turf also. And we'll be able to put down turf on the whole field. And I think we'll be able to, or no, I don't think. We know that we'll be able to have some court options and some turf options at the same time. So it wouldn't be like it wouldn't be full field turf, but you guys know how we have three courts. So 2 courts could be basketball / volleyball, pickleball, whatever. And 1 could be turf just for small sided games or, tot times or whatever, just so I could run around and playing on the grass. So this product is a little bit more than what we had originally planned with the plastic product, but the lifespan of it, having wood, we can touch it up every year and then, sand it down and refinish it every 10 years. And I think the lifespan of it is going to be better in the long run. And it's going to be just a better surface for all the sports and athletes.
So the surface does not go clear to the edges. It's just a specific area. what stops tripping on?
Yeah, so that's another great question. So there's a whole company or industry of runoff mats. So it's basically an ADA compliant rubber mat that comes off because that's a 3-inch, 3.5-inch chunk of wood. And so there'll be areas where we sort of fence off parts of the track. So, maybe your basketball, your pickleball doesn't go flying into where the parents are sitting. And then we'll have a lot of, walking space where you can enter and exit the playing field in a safe way.
If you've been to CIA, they have a floating floor like this, and that's what they have. They have like the ramps that kind of come around the edges. So you walk like slightly up onto the court. That's I think the only place I know around here that has a floating floor like this.
So a couple cool new things. Now let's go back to stats. If anybody wants a tour of the field house, text me. We can set up a walkthrough with CO, our project manager, just kind of get a feel of what that space looks like. I'd love to have all of you guys come over and take a look at it, spend 20 minutes walking around, checking it out. It's pretty impressive when you get in there and trying to imagine kicking a soccer ball across the field. It's gonna be pretty cool. So last thing I want to touch base with is our campgrounds up here and in your packet. This is just the revenue for the past 10 years for our campgrounds, because you can see a fairly steady increase. This year was right on par with the past couple of years. You can see in 2020, we dropped down a little bit. In 22, some of that was fire related. So 18, 19, 20, some of that was COVID, some of that was big fires. But all in all, we did increase, or you guys suggested, and we increased our camping fees a little bit last year. So maybe some of that increase is related to that, but when you dive down into the numbers, it's just kind of normal increase of use.
Is there feedback on that at all? I think they're very reasonable. So even with the increase.
Exactly. Yeah. I think, some people are going to cry about everything, and, they probably voice their opinion, but I think overall, like we're still very, very affordable. And then the last one is just looking at sort of campground numbers. This one's a little bit harder to kind of digest, I guess. Maybe we can zoom in a little bit. So the blue is the current year, 2024, and then we just have 5 years to compare. On the far left, you have camping. This is your normal camping in May, June, August, and September, not counting peak camping, which is basically July. Those numbers are about the same. You can see maybe a little dip in regular camping. And then day use is up a little bit. Typically, we see higher day use numbers when the reds are in thick. And last year, you guys know, was a good year. So we saw a slight uptick in just day use people coming in. There's also a theory that we kind of threw around the office was there's several more campgrounds popping up along K Beach that are providing, and also the Spur has one. And so we're wondering if people are camping offsite, but still utilizing our facilities. Season passes is the next one. Pretty, pretty even all the way across. Wood was a little bit up. We made a very, very concerted effort to fill the woodshed multiple times this year. That takes a lot of manpower, even with the additional equipment that we've purchased over the years. But if we have it, people want it. And ice, I think they just finally started taking care of us and like providing, we buy bags of ice from a local ice company and then resell it. And they just brought ice basically every other day. And so we had a lot of it. And then when the reds are in thick, people need my ice for their coolers. Especially if you're, filling up multiple coolers. So overall, campgrounds were busy, but kind of normal as far as the money goes, and the use. One other thing, we did not allow overflow camping in the Sports Center parking lot this year, and we were very curious to see if there was going to be any indication in our numbers that there was a decrease in camping, especially peak camping, which is when we see most of our dip netters using the sports center parking lot. And as you can see, like we're pretty even. Not any, there's not, I was thinking there might be a 20% decrease or something weird. I don't know. But we didn't really see anything. So that makes us really consider more going forward with the field house opening up, that this might not be an option anymore, that we offer. Any questions on stats or?
Was kind of impressed about the amount on the wood there. Now, this is wood that's actually like fallen trees and stuff out of the parks. So you're getting it at no cost.
Correct. Yep.
I was just wondering, there's a young family I know that they supply like Safeway and Fred Meyer and do that and do the bundles.
Mhm.
And would it be cheaper overall, instead of having your crew do this, have it supplied for you, or,
Yeah.
something like that?
Over the years, we have used bundling firewood as a way to provide enough hours for our laborers in the early season, because we often will staff our summer crew, especially our campground, where we have just enough for July, but it's kind of too many people for May and early June. And so just because we're not that busy. And so we use sort of firewood bundling as a way to like make it a real summer job for somebody, and they stay busy, and we're not wasting, people aren't just sitting around twiddling their thumbs waiting for July. So that's kind of, yes, it would save us a lot of time and energy. But it's also kind of just fits in with the model of getting a good 3 months out of a high school or college kid. Or not even high school. Sorry, we have staff of all ages working in our campgrounds. I think so.
All right, well, I guess on the next report, we want to hear from the board chair. Penny, do you have something to say to us?
Yeah, Penny, can you hear me? No, you're good. Let's try it.
Okay, good. I got it all the way down. Well, I just wanted to say on pretty much everything we talked about, and I didn't write a lot of notes because I've been busy for, I'm not going to tell you how many hours. So I really liked your proposal for the quarterly meeting, because I didn't want to interrupt at that. I like the 7. I like it, the fact that we'll keep it different people from outside the area, and I would hope that we wouldn't go too far out the area. And I don't know how you determine that. Somebody is in closer proximity might be nice, but we have some amazing people outside that. I do like the idea of quarterly meetings. I really like the idea of additional meetings if we need to, and that way we can notice it and have a way that we can, if something comes up, we can go ahead and make a quick change. Let me see. The staggering council appointments. You talked about the non-voting. I really like some of the things you said about the Levitt amp and what we've improved on, and I hope that we can find ways to extend that Levitt amp after our last amount of money that they gave us expires, and I think that's next year. After next year, I don't know if I'm correct on that. I've been writing resolutions all day.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure either.
Okay, so, Michaela, and I know these aren't final questions, or maybe they are, but I really liked all the stuff that is coming together with the art, the ping pong, the sewing, the quilting. I want to do them all. I don't think I'll do synchronized figure skating because I'd probably knock everybody down on the ice, but, about, our stuff within the city, I'm impressed with it. I'll probably get together with you, Joel, more on some of the field house because I was having trouble with this thing listening. It sounds like I like all the things that are coming in play. I do, and you know this, when you have a wood floor, there's a little bit more work to that. If it's a really good, the floor at Ninilchik School has been one of the nicest ones. I mean, I haven't been there in a while, but they take care of that a lot. So that might be an expense. And then I did have a question, and now let me think. I don't think so. Oh, one thing I did want to say is, and maybe it's because I'm online, I don't hear everybody. So I wonder if we should talk closer to the mics or just, I don't know what, and maybe, I don't know, it might be that other people have some of the sound on, and I don't know. It's really interesting, how that works. So, and if we went into the field house, my big question is, and thank you for letting me have a little bit of time, would it be easier for you if you set something up and gave a couple of days option and maybe all of us could go at once, or if some people couldn't go, you could give two tours, and that way it would take some stress off you and your team?
We can't meet more than 3 or 4 people, so it's easier if we just do one-on-one tours, and CO and I have been giving tours of the field house to all sorts of people. So I think it's just give me a call. We'll find a time that works and we'll sneak over there for 5 minutes and check it out. I don't think it'll be that big a deal.
Okay, thanks. I just thought maybe smaller, and I know we have that amount that can't go together. So whatever works for you, I was just trying to take some load off you guys. So I want to go when I come back the first day.
Yeah, done.
All right. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Benny. You're going on mute again.
Appreciate it. And Denise, you.
You're welcome, Penny. I don't believe we have city manager here, but we do have the city council ex-officio member here, Jordan.
Thank you. I'd be happy to give a brief report. So I think we've had 3 city council meetings since we last met as a Parks and Recreation Board. We've had fairly light agendas in the last couple of meetings, but I'll just kind of overview some of the highlights that might be pertinent to the Parks and Advisory Board. So our September 11th meeting, we had an ordinance where we appropriated $300,000 in grant funding, and that's going to be used to fund a sand structure to cover the sand from the elements of the winter. And the net effect being it's going to be easier for our streets crew to keep the sidewalks sand in the winter, and we might be able to do less salt content in them as well. The other big one was consideration of a rezoning the Blasey subdivision. Now, this is the one that's across from the water treatment plant. There was it's a large undeveloped lot, and there was interest in the developer that had acquired that to convert it from single family to multifamily for the potential of condos, apartments, et cetera. That you might have seen that in the media. That one drew a lot of contentious attention, and ultimately that petition to rezone was shot down. So it's going to remain single family, 2-family for the foreseeable future. At our October 9th meeting, we entered into a lease agreement with the State Forestry Department, where they're going to be moving their operations off of the side of Sterling Highway as you're going on to Soldotna and setting up shop over by the Soldotna Airport. It's a pretty big move for them, but it's going to be good for the city. And then lastly, at our October 23rd meeting, we passed kind of an overhaul to code relating to mobile home parks in the city to ensure water and sewer services for them, and extended the eviction notices for tenants in those parks. Those are kind of the big ones. I'd be happy to answer any questions if any of you have curiosity as far as ongoings with council.
I actually have a question,
Certainly.
related to the mobile home parks.
Mhm.
Are we talking about a specific one?
This is all mobile home parks in this city. So
Okay.
right now we actually have three, well, kind of two. So there's the one down by the bridge that's in the process of closing. That one aside, we still have two remaining ones. And what this code really does is it ensures that any remaining mobile home parks in the city, or if there were to be new ones to open, which is probably unlikely, tenants of those parks are guaranteed to have water and sewer services that meet state DEC standards. And then additionally, the notice period for eviction or change of use for mobile home parks is mandated by the state to be 270 days, which, as we found out from tenants by the bridge, if that notice is given in the beginning of August, you basically miss the summer window to have any opportunity to move your home. So as a city, we extended that to a full year. So regardless of when notice is given, those tenants have a reasonable ability to actually try to get out during the summer months.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Great, thank you, Jordan. Public comments, we don't seem to have anybody from the public here. Any other council comments? No?
I would just say I always love hearing the reports from Joel and staff and just everything going on with the Parks Department. And it's just so exciting to see what's happening with the field house. I still haven't gotten over to do the tour, but I've seen so many photos from the inside that I feel like I have. But at some point I need to go over there and see it. But it's so exciting to see that happening. I'm very much looking forward to using the facility this spring or summer, whenever it opens. Fingers crossed soon.
All right, well, we come to board member comments, and whoever wants to go first.
I will.
Okay.
First of all, I again want to thank everybody involved for what the work that they've put in, making the field house a reality. And I think I haven't heard anybody in the community that isn't excited. I did see fee structures starting to come together. Is that something that we were going to go over? Is that something that, because it looked very in line. There's obviously, you guys have put a lot of work into this. This isn't, especially where you had the comparisons out there.
Yeah, we did, our last meeting, we talked about some of the fees. And we'll add more to those and hopefully be done with that. Kind of the end of the year is our hope to have job descriptions and staffing schedules and fees all kind of wrapped up by December, January.
What is the anticipated opening date at this time?
Mid-August is what we're planning.
Okay. I have a lot of seniors that I've been trying to pump them up. We're going to go walking. So I really do like those, the punch cards too. I think that for them, it's going to be important. So thank you.
Rebecca?
No comments.
Eric?
Sure. I share in the enthusiasm of the upcoming field house, but also all the other programs that the city and Parks and Rec are putting together are amazing, especially as we're kind of trucking towards these long winter months. For me, especially, a lot of the things that I'm involved in have been just moving inside, and just I've been in a lot of gyms lately and just seeing all of the issues with individual gyms, whether they're KPBSD gyms or other places around the city or the local peninsula area. It's just making me so excited to be in a nice, fancy, brand new facility. But lots of cool things going on. I want to talk to you about learn to skate for my kiddo as well. But lots of fun things. I love living in Soldotna because it feels like all the time we're doing stuff, which feels progressive and like a nice place to live. Love it.
And do we want to do Penny last or first next? Because I can make a comment first. Thank you for keeping Soldotna Creek nicely paved and even shoveled out. I walked there the other day with my dog and it was like, wow, I didn't even need my cleats. So thanks. That's a good place to go. And also I noticed Parker Park was done too today actually. The other thing I wanted to mention was this summer when you had the big parade and it ended at Parker Park, that worked out really well. I think that was a cool way to finish it. Yeah. So, yeah, as long as you keep me outdoors, I'm happy. So Penny? Any other comments? Otherwise, we are at adjournment at 6:19. Whip, that must be a record.